Yo, 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 what's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Think Big podcast. This is episode 83. Today, we're going to be talking about building a custom plan for a new investor. I believe today we're going to have a special guest here today, right, Sam?
Yeah, dude. We're gonna have a guest coming in, and I'm gonna be pretty stoked on this because this is something that we haven't done. Um, I think maybe we did this one time in 83 episodes, and it was totally random, and I don't think it's what we plan to do. But this is hopefully the start of a new series, which is um, almost like a live intervention, right? Is actually getting someone from our audience, pulling them on live with us and breaking down what's going on in their businesses, what hurdles they have, what issues they're running into, and
Mm.
then truly being a mastermind and collectively, the three of us, Marlon's going to be on in a moment, pouring into this person and solving their problems, right? And
Mm.
so hopefully, depending on how today goes and see if people actually find value in it, my hope, Alejandro, is this can become a regular series because we don't get to do this.
Wow.
You get so many people that reach. I've seen how insane your DMs are. You get so many people who want to jump on a call with you. They're struggling. They're not getting results. And the reality is, if you were to jump on a call with each and every one of them, you'd be doing 50, 60 hours a week of just consulting, not in your business. So I think the reality is, hopefully, if we can do this live for everyone to see, everyone can get value from it and learn from it. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So I love this as an idea, but at the end of the day, we're going to do it today. And I think whether or not it becomes a routine series where we're bringing in guests and pouring into their business, I
Mhm.
think that's really just dependent on if people are engaged and love it and see the value. Because if they don't, we'll just go back to scheduled programming.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely, man. And first and foremost, I also want to give a shout out to everyone that's been sharing the Think Big podcast on their Instagram, posting it on their story, on their page. We truly do appreciate you for doing that. That means a lot to us because obviously, we've been doing this for over a year and we never asked for anything from you guys other than just support. So the support is always more than enough. So we appreciate you guys for sharing that. And again, as always, if you guys ever get value towards the end, feel free to share it with a friend. If right now, if you're watching and you believe a friend is going to benefit from this, go ahead and just share the link. Doesn't hurt. It could be from Sam's, Marlon's, YouTube, wherever. Just share it. Let them know, hey, this is podcast going on, and or look at the other episodes we have. But any sharing support, it's much appreciated from you guys. So thank you so much, Mister
You know,
Marlon.
I want to say this real quick, and this would be a perfect little intro for Marlon. When it comes down to sharing these things, right? Don't just share it with your friends on Instagram. Like, that's fine. We love that. We want you to do that. For this as a series, if you're struggling, right, or a friend who is absolutely struggling, we want you to share this specific episode with them and be like, hey, they're doing this for right now. It's going to be our special guest. But moving forward, we would love to be able to do this for more people. So if you know someone who could actually benefit, not just from watching Think Big, but can benefit from having a hot seat with the three of us, then I think it's going to be perfect. But today's going to be really cool. It's going to be a little bit dynamic. It's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm going to go ahead and bring on the guest in a few moments here and introduce them. And we're going to do a quick diagnosis of what's going on in their business, in their life, everything around it. And what's really, guys, this is what I'm super stoked on. Marlon, you and I are in a private mastermind that we don't allow anyone else in. It's you, me, and two other guys. And I think the best part about that mastermind is each of us has drastically different businesses. And each of us has drastically different ways of approaching problems, right? So I think what's going to be super cool is we're going to bring the guest in, learn about their life, learn about their business, learn about, what they're doing. And I think Marlon is going to have amazing insight, not only to business, but obviously in the mindset, obviously in the entrepreneur and how they can grow. I think Alejandro is going to bring in so much about focus and discipline and work ethic, all of these things. And you guys know me, I'm just going to talk about business all day because that's my jam. But Marlon, dude, good to see you, bro. You've been locked in an airport the last like 48 hours.
Dude, it was an experience. That's the longest amount of delays I ever had. I think you sent your curse from you to me. So, like, let me know what you did to get rid of it so I can pass it on to the next person. Because, yeah, I was in the airport yesterday from 9 a.m. Eastern till about like 5 a.m. Eastern. So I spent almost a full 24 hours in the airport. So I'm excited to be home, excited to not be sitting in. As much as I love the lounge, I'm excited to not be in the lounge and to be here with you guys right now.
You know what it is? I think you talked so much online about how much you loved lounges. God was like, "All right, I got you. We're gonna give you 24 hours of free lounge." All right, but guys, let's get into it because I want this to be jam freaking packed. We're gonna bring on our guest right now. Give me, oh, homeboy, your devices are
Yeah,
not connected.
he just got disconnected.
He just got disconnected. Oh my God, what a guy! What a
Meanwhile, let me go ahead and flirt with Marley really quick while I wait for your homeboy. What's up, Marley? Got a nice haircut, looking good, bro. How does your legs feel from all that running, bro?
Dude, my legs are good. They're back to normal. I'm honestly like I've already gone for runs afterwards. Back in the gym, working on weightlifting now, working on putting back weight and
Yeah.
getting back to some of my favorite hobbies like skateboarding, parkour, and rock climbing. So that's really where my focus is going to be physically. People will see that from just like my movement. So hopefully I start to put on some size and my arms start to fill out shirts like yours. Like you saw, like you just did that. Like, yeah, look at that. Like I got all this baggage here on my shirts. Like one day my arms are a shirt will wrap around. Like I want a shirt to hold on for dear life around my arms. Like my name is Alejandro.
That's crazy, bro. You're actually the most swole out of all of us together. So I mean, now you're just you're gaslighting me right now. That's ridiculous.
I like how he lifted his arms like baggage while he has 95 veins going down his freaking biceps. Dude, okay, so we just lost our special guest, so they're gonna come back. I'm sure it's not a problem. They're probably just having some connection issues. Marlon, real quick question for you, dude. Did you doing the run across America? Now coming back into the mix of it, I was actually really curious about this for the last like 3 months while you're doing this. Have you, now that you're getting back into weights, do you feel like you've lost a lot of strength or no?
Yes and no. Really interesting. So I'll be quick with this. One thing, so I wasn't lifting as much on the Run Across America for obvious reasons. Near the end, we did taper down on mileage because we were ahead of schedule. So we started finding local gyms to go hit up. So went into a gym, hit a PR on my bench press. I benched 245 for the first time ever in my life. So that was huge. And it was interesting. The reason and rationale I have behind it is I was in an RV with 5 dudes for basically 3 months. My testosterone naturally rose. Just being in proximity to 5 healthy young guys who are all equally pushing themselves, equally yoked. And so that's one of the biggest things everyone asks, like, yo, what are you going to miss from this run across America? Quite frankly, I'm going to miss that environment for the physicality, for the physical nature of I just grew physically. I was stronger, faster, more endurance, and for no other reason besides I was hanging around guys who were also in great shape. So, yeah, man, like I'm looking. I already told Darren, I put Darren on notice here in the house that he has now become my gym partner, whether he wants to be or not, and I'm dragging him to the weight room every day.
Different, right? Because now you're back at the manor, and you've got a few female roommates at the manor.
There's a lot of estrogen in the house. A lot.
I was going to say that. Okay, yeah, you're around a lot of estrogen right now. So, interesting. Okay, let's do this. Let's get into it, guys. I'm gonna bring up our guest, who I don't think has actually ever been on Think Big Live before, so it's cool. Joel, welcome, dude. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm very grateful for this moment to be on here today, and thank you, Sam, for letting me learn from you guys and grow.
Dude, we're stoked to have you. So, Joel, you've been coming on to Think Big for such you've been coming on consistently, and we love it. And by the way, guys, if you guys want like a spoiler on like who we're gonna be bringing on if this continues as a series, it's gonna be people who are actually active in the chat, people who are sharing on social media. I mean, that's it. One of the reasons why I was even open to doing this with Joel is because he's so consistent in showing up, supporting, and also helping everyone in the chat, sharing on social media. So that's a huge thing. But Joel, in the next five minutes, okay, 5 to 10 minutes. What I want you to do is I want you to start giving us some background on where you're at in your business, in your entrepreneurial journey, right? And what the road has looked like to get you to where you're at right now. And then after that, I want you to kind of give us a breakdown of what your business currently looks like.
All right. So what I could start saying is I started off like, June, what was the date? It was around November, December 2021. I lost so much money in stocks. You know what? I lost everything. So like $10,000, I lost it right there. I did not know how to get into real estate back then. But I'm so glad I lost it because it made me find Jerry Norton and like tons of other people. And through that, I found Pace the next month. And then a month after that, I started getting to the live stream. So I started seeing wholesaling and those type of things, wholesaling, buying and holding, and creative finance. So after that, I started connecting with as many people as I can. Being just active in the chats, I was so nervous, like to talk to people. I would never showed my face on camera before. I had never done any of that back then. But like thanks to the Sub2 family, I was able to get out there and just like bombard Pace with questions. So like I kept bombarding Pace with questions, keep bombarding him, asking him like the weirdest things, maybe even the weirdest commentary. Like it could be sometimes funny. So that weird humor has got me some exposure. So it helped me build more relationships with other people. Then I got into Weena's group, and from Weena's group, I was able to connect with more people in Astro. Then from Astro, I was connecting with people in person after moving to Dallas, and I was getting more like better like networking and connecting with people. And so from there, I was learning. I wanted to do acquisitions. Then I wanted to do dispositions. I wanted to do raising money. I wanted to buy and hold. And from there, I also wanted to do what else I want to do? Yeah, I wanted to fix and flip. And from there, I wanted to do like every single thing you could imagine. And like I was not doing anything because of I was everywhere, like literally everywhere. And but the same reason how I'm everywhere, right, is also why I'm able to connect with so many people. But that's also my biggest drawback. And like under pressure, I'm unable to think clearly. It's been happening for like 2 years, 2.5 years almost. So it's like when I'm trying to like really get a clear picture of what I want, I'm not 100% knowing, but I want to have an impact on people. But same time, I'm tired of I don't really like talking to sellers. I'll be honest to that. But I love connecting with other people. Like that's something I really love to do, and like I love having the feeling of being like strong and connected with people, and like the love and bond, right? The bond. That's what I really like value more than a lot of things. But like I've been struggling to like really make calls or like figuring out like which like where to be pinpoint focused. Like recently because it's been like 2 years, 3 years. So like family, friends, everyone has stopped believing in me, and like I'm feeling so much pressure out of this. So it's like, let me think. Now this last week I decided, or the week before, like I think I'll dispose some deals, but then I did it the wrong way because I was thinking I already have these contacts. Why don't I just call someone else, get their deals, and dispose for them? Then I just realized the same people that are disappointed the deals in the group. Sam brought it up to me last week. It's like they already have seen it, and it's like it doesn't look good showing them the same deals that other people have seen. And then last year, if you remember, Pace also told me to make 5 calls daily, like for agents or something, titles, anything. He just said make 5 contacts daily. So that was something I was working on last year. I did fall off of it a bit, to be honest. I was not consistent. Like consistency is the biggest problem with me. And
So let me do this because I wanna bring this into now and today, right? Because I think, by the way, how long has this journey been for you? How long have you been doing, let's just say, involved in all these real estate kind of communities and things?
November 2021.
Oh, that's the exact same amount of time as me. Oh wow.
Wow.
November 1st, 2021. Yeah, that's the exact same time. Wow, dude. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so here's what I want to know. Right now, what does your day-to-day in your business look like? What are you doing now?
Right now, I can say it's mostly like a lot of social media, like connecting with people, talking to people, finding if they have issues. So talking to those people, connecting with them, uh, like DMing agents and finding title companies through that. And then for capital, I'm also trying to build at the same time. Like I'm trying to get like 3 stones at once, so like buyers, capital, and maybe deals potentially. So it's like I'm like the contact title companies, ask them, do they need buyers? I mean, do they have buyers? I love to bring them more business. And if they have deals that failed or deals that are like they don't qualify for like financing because they have issues. And I've been talking to mostly more buyers using social media on a day to day. But I've been really spread out. I'll be honest with you. I haven't
Okay.
been directly on one thing.
Let me last little question, and then I want to start getting into all of us to getting some feedback in. And I'll probably just have Marlon start there. But last little question: it sounds like you're doing a lot of social media, right? I see you. You're dude. You crush on Facebook. You crush having a presence. Everyone knows you. Everyone knows you, right? If they don't know, and I think on Instagram it's Primal Eskimo. Like everyone knows you, and they know your name. They know the profile. They know the don't tread on me flag. That's your profile pic. Like you've done a phenomenal job getting everyone to know who you are and know that you're there, which is huge. It's literally like half the battle. Now, when you are reaching out to all these people, you mentioned that you're trying to get buyers, lending deals, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When you're connecting with someone, right? Let's just pretend I'm you and I connect with Alejandro on Facebook and we jump on a quick 15-minute call on Calendly. We're having a conversation, right? We're getting to know each other. Do you have a structured back end to okay, if Alejandro says he's got capital, he's got 50K in his savings account and he wants to dish it out, right? Do you have a focused setup behind that to connect him to people who have deals? Or are you just kind of going in, getting the connections, and potentially, this is my concern, potentially not following through on the back end after the connection's been made?
Oh, I do have people to go back to, but not like specific deals, to be honest. When
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about like the back end,
Mm-hmm.
but like I have like the community to talk to, or like if somebody needs it.
Okay, got you. So
Structured it.
got you. And when you are reaching out to these people, jumping on a call, getting to know each other, are you doing so with a very specific, focused intent? Or is it just, hey, you're in a community, I'm in a community, we both want to grow, let's connect and get to know each other? Or is it, hey, I am looking for lenders only, and I want to have, if you've got 50K in your bank account, I want to talk to you tomorrow?
I'm like in the middle of it. Like I'm not talking to a lot of new people because I don't want to waste time. Like no offense to new people, but like I want to be talking to a little bit people who are doing something, right? So like bringing actual value to others. I want to be able to bring the same value to some more people. So I've been having conversations, but I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not asking what I want to say. This is also why I'm struggling on sales, because I'm not able to I want to bring that conversation up, but I'm unable to bring it up. Like talking about money, for example, or when I want to talk about closing deals, that's also another thing I struggle with.
Gotcha. Okay. Marlon, you want to kick us off?
Yep, just making a note here.
By the way, this is why I know Marlon's going to crush it, because the entire time he's listening and then he's staring at you and then he takes 30 seconds to take notes. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, no, I love the questions. And Joel, I appreciate you coming on here and being open, honest. Sam's absolutely right. You've done a great job at being loud in communities. The fact that we all know who you are, that other people know who you are, is a testament to you showing up consistently. So I would say you don't have a consistency problem. You are consistent. It's just a matter of, are you consistent on now the things that are going to move you closer to your end goal? I did hear you mention the shiny objects, which ultimately is what we're referring to it, right? Like a little bit of fix and flip, a little bit of wholesale, a little bit of multifamily. I'm in this community, I'm in that community. Here's one of the toughest things, and you've heard this said before. The hardest thing about real estate is there's so many ways to make money in real estate. And ultimately, it's a matter of picking one avenue, one vehicle temporarily, and locking into that vehicle, like literally committing and saying, this is the vehicle I will choose to become known for, I'll be dominant for, and I can bring value in this area. As Sam mentioned, as you're having these conversations with people, as you're talking to folks, and let's say you speak with Alejandro and you say like, hey, Alejandro, I'm not looking to talk to newbies. What are you up to? He says, I've got money to lend. The way you bring value to Alejandro isn't by just knowing he has money to lend, but by you having identified, hey, Sam is always doing deals. I'm going to go and talk to Sam on behalf of Alejandro because I already have the relationship with Sam. And I'm going to say, Sam, I've got somebody. He's got $50,000. He's ready to lend it. He trusts me already. We built rapport. I explained to him how deals work. So he's not completely in the dark about that. He's ready to put that money to work. But Sam, I don't have deals. Can I push his money into your deals? And could there be something that if I keep bringing money to you, so when I'm having conversations with people, I can channel it into your deals? Would you be okay with me doing that? And when I present it to people, I present it as our deals because now I'm working with you, right? So now you have a back end structure and there's a reason behind the conversations. And although it might be that you talk to somebody else and they say, well, I don't have any money to lend, I am so-and-so, you can still add that person in your Rolodex. But now when you're at a networking event, you're intentionally looking for a very specific avatar, for a very specific type of person. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Specific people.
Right. Now, the challenge with this, because you already know this, the challenge with this is going to be picking the avenue that resonates with you, that you're willing to say, I'm committed to. The juice is worth the squeeze because it all takes work, regardless of which one you do. And at some point, all of these things are going to have sorts of work that you don't necessarily want to do. That's inevitable. Like we all have to, at some point, do some work that we don't want to do. Absolutely inevitable. However, if the reward on the back end is meaningful enough to you, it'll be worth doing that particular work. It's like being in a relationship, right? Every person that gets into a relationship, no relationship is perfect, but you're willing to put up with your partner's shortcomings because being with them is worth so much more than the hard conversations, than the arguments, than all those little details.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, what I'd be curious to know is, and you guys bear with me a little bit, take me back to the beginning on what got you into real estate to begin with, because everyone starts, and really what got you into entrepreneurship to begin with, because everyone has a different motivation. And I want to understand, what's your motivation for being here and for continuously working at this business, even though your family's looking at you like, are you crazy?
So I appreciate this, Marlon. That was great information because I've been going through a lot of those. So from where I started, why I wanted to do this was like, I think it may have went even a few years prior when I was in school, high school. I feel like it was like I wanted to like have something bigger in me. Like I don't want to just be like stuck to the same thing everybody's doing. I don't want to be doing the same thing as everyone else. I don't want to be like mediocre. I wanted to have some change in life, some impact. And in entrepreneurship, I'll be able to automate, build bigger, hire more people, and lead, and be able to lead a little bit better. But at the same time, I also had to learn from the bottom. But what I want to be is like, I want to get in like bigger rooms, get bigger people, be like impacting more people. Was what also mainly what drawn me to entrepreneurship. But also like to be able to scale, just get bigger, growing, and not being like stuck to like what everyone is doing. Like everyone's just going through like the same 9 to 5. They retire at 65, and then at 65 there'll be health issues and whatever for some, unless they're healthy. But like they don't have much time to like spend with family and like enjoy, like not just enjoy life, but like lead the actual purpose they want to be leading. It's like I'm seeing some retirees like already like wasting, not retirees, but like people who want to retire, but like they're stuck still today. Like one of my neighbors, like he's 57, 58, still working. He's tired, fed up with the job, but still is doing what he has to do. And now it's like you want to do some more than just like stay.
So you wanted to create something a bigger life that wasn't mediocre and wasn't average. Why real estate though? Why do you land on real estate?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It also started with seeing because I feel like real estate was more like that thing. I wanted to own some more properties and provide something to people, be able to build like I want to build like as a guy, like creativity, like you want to like expand on something, like you want to like add on, like, and like real estate had like that thing where you can automate, you can buy property, and it started with Rich Dad Poor Dad, to be honest, because you're gaining assets, you're creating cash flow, you're creating opportunities for other people, creating places for people to live. And also it kind of led down because I want to learn negotiating skills, life skills. So real estate had a lot of those things to offer. But at the same time, what I think in real estate was like the ability to like get started in it. Like I didn't really need much to start. And second of all is like you can like scale a lot. You can add more property, you can create cash flow, and also you can create more relationships. So I feel like real estate was that vehicle to build more wealth.
Okay, and do you still feel that way about real estate?
I still feel like of it. And businesses now, since I've been hearing a lot about that, but like I don't want to get deviated to businesses either. Private equity was another total thing I kind of got deviated at recently, but I don't want to get distracted by that. But I still feel good with real estate.
Okay. And then let me ask you this final question. I don't want to take up all the time here. With that being the case, with real estate being a vehicle that you can use, you see the potential for the growth, you see the opportunity to be able to serve, help other people, create opportunities for not just yourself to win, but for others to win. How do you think those opportunities get turned on for everyone else to win in real estate?
Explain the last part of it. Like I didn't get it.
When you looked at real estate and you saw this as an opportunity, what did you feel your input to it would be? What do you feel is necessary from you to turn on the opportunities inside of real estate?
Okay, for me, I feel like it's like creating more like showing up in like and gathering people together was where I felt like I need to start from, like gathering the resources, getting the people, like talking to more people was one thing I feel. And for getting started in there, like I was thinking it was like to turn a switch was like I need to like start like not scale. What's the word I'm trying to hit on? It's not scaling. It's a specific word, and I'm not sure what the word is, but like I wanted to get like more out there to people. So it's like I wanted to get like in like bigger rooms, bigger people. So like what I was thinking was using that I could use like get through like social media, be someone like helping others out through like creating an opportunity. So it's like I think it's like I have to be more present and network with more people and connecting with more people. I think this was one for me.
So you'll be able to network and connect with people. I want to give you this thought and plant the seed. As you are connecting and networking with people, that's important and that's valuable. However, that isn't going to be the magic key by itself. When you connect with people, I need you now, and this goes for everybody that's listening, I need you to be a leader. And what does it mean to be a leader? When I look at it, I'm going to give you my definition of being a leader. A leader is somebody like Alejandro. A leader is somebody like Sam, where I look at these two and I see that they are going to get to their goal and destination with or without me. I feel that about them, that if they set a target, if they say, I'm going to do this many deals, if they say this is going to happen, although they know how to build teams and they know how to put people together, I trust that it will happen with or without the help of anybody else. It's just if people help, they will get there much, much quicker. So with you, do people have that same sense that, okay, you know what? even if I don't help him, he's going to get deals done. He's going to make money. Or do they feel like, hey, he's just networking, he's connecting us, but he's not really connecting us for a purpose. He's not taking us anywhere, right? Leaders take people places, but that means the leader is going there with or without their people. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Mhm.
So I want you to start being directional with your networking, intentional with your networking.
Mhm.
So I want to pass this back over to Alejandro and Sam, because really for me, what I would want to do with you is sit down and dive deeper into ultimately pinpointing a target and locking into that target. And I'm just going to say this final thing. Picking a target doesn't mean you're picking that target for life.
Mm.
Right? Like when I got started, I started off wholesaling. I don't wholesale that much anymore. I really don't. But I started off doing that, and I committed to that fully until it got me to the next station. But while I was doing it, I wasn't focused on any of the other things. I was only focused on wholesaling. Had I been focused on 12 other things while I was wholesaling, I wouldn't have gotten traction. But I gave myself permission to change later. I gave myself permission that when the time became right, I would then jump onto another vehicle. All right. But I'm curious to hear between Alejandro and Sam what you're thinking.
You want to take it, Sam?
Here, I want you to go first because I did a lot of talking at the beginning. Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. Well, man, first of all, you have a lot of, it takes a lot to come in here and share all the struggles you're going through. A lot of people, Joel, what they do is they don't share this with anyone and they actually quit. But you still been doing this for a good amount of minute now, and you're still here, and you're like, you know what? Let me jump on the podcast, see if I can find some solution, man. So shout out to you for doing that alone. And just from what I was hearing, I have a few notes here from earlier. You building capital, 3 stones at once. And once I hear like multiple things at once, I mean, Sam is really, really that guy that was like, hey, I'm going to focus on just one thing until I get it to wherever I need to get it to financially. And at some point, I'm like, okay, well, let me start working on multiple business. And I thought that was cool as long as I have partners. I don't have to be there, but I was wrong. And this is where I was like, you know what? I'm going to step back and step back and step back slowly so I can start focusing on that one thing. And I can increase that a lot sooner, a lot faster. So that's the first thing I would recommend for you, man, is just start focusing on one thing at a time. And if, just like Marlon said it perfectly, man, if you don't provide value by knowing what I'm looking for, it's by helping me find what I'm looking for. So that's what I would focus on. If you have people that have capital, I know a friend of mine named Colin, this dude doing multiple deals by connecting people. And he's really new. He's been doing this for less than a year. He's done a lot of deals.
Oh, Colin Yeep?
Yeah.
That dude's a beast.
It's Yelp. I thought it was Yeep too.
Damn it.
No, it was Yelp.
Okay, well that dude's a freaking beast. Yeah, I've been following his journey. Crazy what he's done. But to your point, hyper focused. Hyper. And I'm gonna take it one step further, because you mentioned Colin's absolutely been connecting, has been networking, but to Marlon's point, he hasn't just been connecting for the sake of connecting. He hasn't been networking for the sake of networking, right? Mm-hmm. He's not just making calls for the sake of making calls. He probably goes into every conversation with a clear-cut directional intention before he even picks up the phone and dials it.
Yep.
So, but sorry, Alejandro, keep going.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like, again, I was saying, Colin, yeah, he's definitely a beast. I've worked with it. I've worked with him multiple times, and it's been situations where I've been struggling with something for months. He just picks up the phone, coming back the next day, like, hey, here's your solution. I'm like, dude, when did you start again? Like, just a couple months ago. So he's there just being intentional. And the reason why he got so much of that stuff done, because he was intentional and he was working at one thing at a time. He's like, hey, what do you need? Okay, great. Actually, I know someone that needs this. Connect. And eventually able to start doing his own deal. So you have all the resources, man. You already have it, like it's right there in front of you. All you need to do is just remove, and this might be very difficult for you in the beginning. Just remove everything else. Focus on what you really makes you happy, and not necessarily happy, like, yeah, I'm excited to do this. More like you just don't have a problem waking up doing it, no matter how you feel that day. So think about that, and only you can know that, man. I don't know, right? Sometimes back then when I used to underwrite my deals, I didn't want to do underwriting, but I still did it anyways. And that's what I love about it, is the outcome of what happens when I complete that task. So it's like certain things like that, man. I don't do things that makes me excited or happy. I just do things that I'm okay doing, whether no matter how I feel. Like this podcast, it doesn't matter how I feel, where I'm at, I'm always going to show up because I'm going to hang out with the guys. Sometimes I don't want to be here, but it's a requirement. And I'm just being honest. It's a requirement. Sometimes I'd rather go because I'm right here. I'm in Georgia with my family. Hey, mom, let me go hang out with you. I haven't seen my mom in months. Let me go hang out with you. But like, no, this is a requirement. It needs to be done. And I have zero problem being here. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to show up no matter what. I'm always going to do my best, of course. I think I missed maybe once, guys, maybe. I don't know. But maybe it was once. But the whole point of that is find out something that's meaningful enough for you to do it no matter how you feel. This podcast is meaningful because we get to hang out as brothers and we get to help other people as well. And I get to grow and be selfish and learn from Sam. Sam doesn't know this, but I'm always here to see him talk.
So, I appreciate that. So, okay. Joel, you ready? You ready for a fucking fire hose?
All right.
Okay. So right off the bat, I want to hit on this because Alejandro's right. This past year, we've been doing Think Big for over a year now. So what is it? 83? This is episode 83? So to put this into perspective, I want to prove a point here. If you take one miss out of 83 weeks, okay, that is 1.2% miss rate. He is literally, as it stands to this day, over 99%, or just shy of 99%. It was like 98%, 98.8%. That's how consistent he is. And the fact is, now that I've pointed this out, he's probably going to go 6 months and make sure he doesn't miss so he can get to 99.99999. What I want to highlight is this, man. And I'm going to, because I love my boys here and we're all different in how we approach the world, I'm going to be a little bit more straightforward and direct with you. And I think tell you the things that maybe you don't want to hear, but you probably need to hear. And what I'm going to do is Joel, love you. I feel like I'm not talking to you right now. I feel like I'm talking to me 2.5 years ago when I just got started, right? Or 3 years ago. So this is the key. We want you to get fulfillment in everything that you do. Ideally, that is the whole point of life, to a degree, is to get fulfillment in the things that you do, live a meaningful life. There are going to be seasons of your life that fulfillment very often is not a viable answer when it comes down to growing skill sets. The reality is you have to not do your best because sometimes your best is not enough. You have to do what's required, right? And to do what's required, you have to grow as a person. To do what's required, you have to do the hard shit that you don't want to do. To put it to Alejandro's perspective, like to his point, like he's in Georgia with family. By all rights, he should not be here right now. He should be enjoying his time with his loved ones, but he's live. I've gone live on the side of a highway. We've done this podcast, I think, from me and Marlon have been in Puerto Rico. We've been in airports. We've been everywhere, and we've gotten it done no matter what, right? The reality is when we first got started, it was kind of difficult to stay consistent. I think the three of us now agree we like showing up just for the fact that we know that other podcast hosts don't show up consistently. For us, I truly, at least for me showing up 83 weeks in without fail, right? For the Think Big podcast going live every single week, it's never missed. In 83 weeks, we've not missed. To me, 84th week, 85 weeks. You know how much of our competition is 83, 84, 85 weeks in without a single miss? They may have an amazing episode because they bring on some superstar and they may have 100 people one time watching. But the reality is, are they going to keep up the same energy 84 weeks in when there's no one watching, right? That's what it takes to win. And so what I want you to start really kind of focusing on is being so narrowly defined in what it is that you're doing. And also, this is the key. I'm going to drop the link right now for everyone in the chat. Don't watch this right now. Watch this later. It is an amazing video by Alex Hormozi, and it's about going into a season of no. And the three of us have gone into this so many times in our lives without knowing it. This past 4 months, I just started speaking on stages again. This past 4 months, I said no to everything to focus on growing my businesses. The results, both my businesses grew through the roof. One of them literally doubled in revenue. In annual revenue is officially doing over 7 figures a year. And it's because I said no to self-storage, multifamily, connecting, lending, all of their stuff. Crap talk. Can someone put a battery in their smoke alarm, please? Yeah, Joel, bro, we gotta get your. That's actually not me, by the way, guys. It's like
I
first
thought it
time
was
ever.
Sam again. I was like, Sam's
I know
back
it's,
to, like,
it's actually not me.
batteries.
It's actually not me. No, I've actually been on mute. If I'm not talking, I'm on mute. So I say no, it's not me. So I think it's Joel. Joel, we're gonna send you a new battery for that. But that being said, what I want you to start doing is this, man. You need to be very calculated here, very discerning, and just very narrow with what you bring to the table, okay? With the amount of time that you have, with the resources that you have, with the experience that you have. I want you to realize that there are things, I'm not saying that you can't do all of it. Do I think you can go and buy multifamily? Yes. Do I think you can go and do self-storage? Yes. Do I think you can go and buy rentals? Yes. They all work. But I think right now, especially when you have pressure from friends and family and all these things happening, you probably can't wait another year to start getting results. And here's the truth. As someone who is young, because you are relatively young, I think you're younger than all of us, someone who's young, let's just say you've been in the community for a long time, but you probably haven't experienced a ton of transactions yet, right? How viable do you think it's going to be for you to go raise 10, 15, 20 million dollars for a syndication to get a multifamily? It's probably not super viable yet, or even do a fund of funds to get into someone else's, right? So I want you to understand, with everything that you bring to the table, what vehicles next to you are compatible, right? It's not that one day you can't drive the Lambo vehicle, you can, but maybe you need to start in a freaking Camry. So I want you to discern, hey, buy and hold rentals, okay? If that's the goal, if that's the avatar, are we doing single family, small multifamily, commercial, all these things? Because each of them requires a different skill set, right? Fundraising for multifamily, a whole hell of a lot different than fundraising for single family, right? And operating it. So I want you to be so damn discerning. And then this is the key. I think this more than anything. I like that Pace. Pace was right. When he told you to go and just start consistently making dials, he was damn right. What I want you to do, though, is take it so much further than he told you to do. And I want you to be laser focused on it. So now I want you to do this, man. Over the next 6 months, I would say 6 months minimum, you have to pick an identity. That identity, it can't be lender and wholesaler and flipper and dispo and multifamily. I don't care what it is, right? The reality is you need to pick an identity, and you do nothing else other than what is required for that identity to win. If you are a connector, okay, here's the issue with connectors that I personally have. Connectors try to connect everything on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is what? They try to connect a wholesaler with a dispo guy, and then the next day they try to connect a buy-in holder with some money. And the problem is this: they never really understand each avatar they're working in. The best connectors understand their avatars to the millionth degree, right? If you're a connector and you're, let's just say, if you're doing dispo, that's a connector. A dispo guy is effectively a connector between a wholesaler and an end buyer. But you need to understand the 17 types of end buyers. You need to understand the 17 different types of wholesalers out there, their unique constraints and how to solve them. Otherwise, you will not get growth. So if you're a wholesaler, are you direct to seller, direct to agent, expired listings, creative finance, cash? Are you astro flipping? Because you mentioned you were in the astro community too. See how each of them takes so much different. Guys, Jonah Corchin's a guy we've had on so many times. Jonah Corchin does over $1 million a year doing direct to agent wholesale. He will not touch to direct to seller marketing. He pretends it doesn't exist. I don't even think he does creative financing, and he's an OG in sub 2. He's an OG in sub 2. And I think to this day, he turns his brain off from creative financing. But that level of focus is why he crushes and makes over $1 million a year. And then I want you to take this in. Each of these guys crushes it. I'm currently at a point now, and I fully realize this. The whole two birds, one stone, 3 stones, all that shit, toss it so far out of your brain. Because I don't think you want to do anything moving forward unless you can grow it, sustain it, and actually have it make a good amount of income, right? So for me, my barrier now, I had this partnership meeting with one of my partners, and it's an alignment thing that we've talked about. Because we've raised our skill set to a degree, we've developed enough. Our goal is we will not touch a business model unless we know we can do in revenue minimum $1.5 million in about the first year and a half.
Gotcha.
So what we don't do is any business model on earth that we know we can't get there that quick, minimum, we will not touch it because we are starting to be so narrowly defined. What I want you to do is establish, what am I willing to do? Which number do I want to hit? Because you can reverse engineer all of them. And this is the key. I now have multiple businesses that do 7 figures, but here's a key with why I'm able to do that. I have directors who run these businesses, and they do so much of the hard work for me because I only have 24 hours in a day. Bro, you can't be a lender and a multifamily guy and a wholesaler and succeed in any of them because you only have 24 hours of time and attention and bandwidth. So what do? I go and focus on having directors and operators who I partner with who literally make tons of money because I need them to live in that and crush it. That is the only way that we actually see growth. And I want you to understand this, man. Look at Ryan Pineda. Ryan Pineda is a phenomenal entrepreneur. He's so damn good. Any business that guy starts does 7 or 8 figures in its first year. I think he started doing golfing as just a side hobby and then did like $1 million in his first year, like golfing. So just so people would go and golf with him. Outside of that one thing, because it's just him having fun with a hobby, every other business he has a partner who is dedicated to that business full time. He has operators that absolutely crush it. Guys, what is happening on the back of the screen? Okay, there we go. So I want you guys, Jade says it. It's tunnel vision. So be discerning, right? You're in Vina's group. I love Vina Jetty. Vina Jetty is one of the most inspiring human beings I've ever met in a long time. I adore everything she does. I think she's fantastic. I think she is going to be, I think when it's all said and done, Vina Jetty is going to be the biggest name in multifamily real estate. And she's honestly really quickly becoming that, right? I'm not in her community. I'm in like her free group, but I'm not in her community. I'm not engaging with it. I'm not plugged in. Why? Because I understand for me to get to the season I'm in, to the season I want to get to next, I am not even allowed to consider multifamily. Because I understand that in order to succeed in it, I have to not be distracted doing other things. So, dude, I need you to also, like, after tonight, I want you to watch that video. I'll drop the link again for anyone that missed it. I want you to go watch this video tonight. And Alex has some, let's just say, controversial takes because he tells you to say no to family even. I hope you realize that that may not be optimal. It may not be the funnest thing, but it may sure as hell be what's required of you to win. And so I want you to consider this. No matter what's in front of you for the next 6 months, don't just do the things. Don't just, fall into muscle memory. Don't just go through the motions. You have to do whatever it takes for you to freaking win. That's the key. And I want you to turn your brain off from everything else. So with all of the avatars, right? I'm glad that you've been in, the industry as long as you have, because you understand the 1,000,001 avatars. I want you to be so honest with yourself here. Okay.
All right.
With everything that you bring to the table here. Okay. Mm-hmm. And all of the potential avatars there are. Right. Which one is not the one that you like the most? Which one is the most compatible with the season that you're in?
All right. I think I'm cutting off multifamily right now. That's gonna take forever, and it's not where I need right now. Like, I need some cash. I need to prove to my family, and also have start growing, become be able to go to more places and start doing more things. So what I'm thinking is, right now, here's a struggle I am really going through. It's like asking what I want to for example, if I want to like talk about capital, right? It's like I struggle with like bringing that conversation up. Like I want to talk about it, but like I have that like some block I feel. But at the same time, it's like closing sellers or sellers, for example. Like now, I think single family I might have to be stayed focused on now. So, and even in the wholesaling part it was cash. I cannot do like sub two now. That's just too much of things for me. So I'm better at that. So what I'm thinking is, because now I already have like all of these people on my side, right? I do need some help breaking these down. So like Dispo, it was one thing I considered because that will help me get some cash in, plus build some more relationships with people. And like I can do it like like title companies, they have the buyers. Mortgage lenders, they got buyers. I can just talk to them, and I can find buyers from other landlords, other people in these groups. So I was thinking Dispo was one, and another one was like just straight up regular wholesaling, but in that agents specifically, because I like building relationships. I hate direct to seller, and I don't like going through all that like nonsense of like having to go through the outreach, pulling those lists and all of that. It's just like agents, I'm able to just build that relationship. Like I think Marlon also was something similar, right? Like Marlon talks to agents better because he considers himself like an old man. Like he not what like old man as in that, but like
I
old
am an
man as
old
in
man.
he's able to build more relationships. Like that's the same exact way I am, like how Marlon is. Like I talk to older people way better than my own age group. I struggle with that. Like older people I can have good conversations with. So it's like I think between those things, those two is where I'm leaning at. Multifilm is out now. Like I'm not doing that. I don't think sub two is something I should be focused on because like too many hurdles in the way, too many objections, and that's where cash was easier. You can just make the offer simple and just get it done. But same way, my brain is a little bit more. It likes to like build more relations with people. So like title companies was like I kept mentioning a lot of times, or even mortgage lenders. I feel, but like I just need to know what to say to people. Like I struggle like like the negotiate not struggle negotiating, but like I need to get better at it. Like Pace was saying, like I told Pace I was not a closer. I'm not in any community to be honest. I'm not in any mentorship. I'm I'm like I don't have any money to invest in at the moment, but like but as I know the people I was able to talk. So what Pace was telling me was on one of the lives, he was like he says I was saying I'm not a closer. So I think he kind of got a little mad at that or something. He was like not mad, but was like he doesn't like when people say they cannot be closers because he's saying it's an excuse basically. He's saying like if you can make friends, you can talk to people. You can talk to people, or you always like show up in places. You can be a closer. So
I want to do this. Okay, I love so much of this. It's funny because I feel like it just hit me 30 seconds ago. I already know exactly what Alejandro wants to tell you. Because you fit a very specific avatar, but I want you to understand and get through this on your own. Pace is right. The problem is this: you said this key thing, and it was I would say you honestly lying to yourself that you can't be a closer. And the reason why is because in your brain, in your head, you've defined what a closer looks like. And one thing I will tell you right now is closers do not look the same. They don't sound the same. A closer is a closer because what they do is they find a way to make a win-win for everybody involved. And the reality is you have to be dynamic as shit to do that. I personally think in our industry that Pace Morby is the greatest closer that our industry's ever seen. But guess what? Grant Cardone's a beast closer. Do they sound the same? Hell no. Do they approach life the same? Hell no. But I don't even know anyone that sells more stuff than Grant freaking Cardone, right? So what I want you to stop doing, or when it comes down to that, is also understand that if there is no avatar in your head that, hey, a closer looks like me, you know what you do? You become that avatar. you become a closer, and now you're like, guess what? A closer can also look like Joel, right? Can also look this way, sound this way, have this approach. Two, I think something I think a mental shift to a degree needs to happen. And that's that you are consistent, bro. And this is something I realized about you halfway through. You are consistent with exposing who you are, right? Exposing who you are in the ecosystems that you're in. Everyone knows you. Everybody knows you, right? It was a no-brainer to bring you on because, like, dude, it's like this is our first time like chatting on Zoom with you and me. But the reality is, I feel like I've known you for like 2 years, right? Here's my one issue that I currently have with you, and it's that I would venture to say, if I don't realize it, the ecosystem doesn't realize it either. I don't know what it is that you do. I don't know. Are you the direct to seller wholesaler? Are you a lender? What's your avatar, right? With certain people and almost everyone, if they've done a good job branding themselves, I know exactly who they are and what it is that they do. And I understand what opportunities to bring them when I have them. The problem is this, and this is my problem generally with connectors, is when connectors are very loose in general, trying to connect everybody. The problem is, and what's that old saying, right? Like a master, like someone who's good at everything is a master at none, like, or something to that effect. I want you to be so damn aware that, and it, guys, Marlon said it doesn't have to be forever. It's for the next 6 months or a year, whatever avatar you pick, everyone around you needs to understand that, hey, for the next year, I, Joel, am only doing this. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm going to crush at. If you have any opportunity that looks like this, you bring it to me and nobody else. I want you to start branding yourself so everyone knows you. My thought process is not everyone knows what you do or what you're specially good at, right?
You know, you brought that up.
Go for it.
Because that's what another friend who was another family friend who was like, he was going at me the last week. He was like, you're not making any money. What are you doing? What do you do? A lot of people ask me that question. It's like, what do you do? And now I'm realizing, what do I do? Like, what? Now I'm realizing I haven't pinpointed that. Now I think that's where like the main problem started too. I haven't pinpointed. A lot of people, I tried explaining what do I do. I start saying about wholesaling. I'll start saying like, so I'll find people, I'll bring them deals, or something. I will start saying like that. But I feel like,
so Joel, I want you to do this because we could get on here right now and Sam and Alejandro and myself, we could say, Joel, do this, right? And we could say, be this. But the problem is, or the challenge is, if we make that decision for you, there's no self-accountability to it. You have to make that decision for yourself. And I want to give you a deadline. I want to give you a sense of urgency. I want to give you a sense of make that decision before tonight's over, right? You don't need to make it on this call, but before you wake up tomorrow morning, you decide this is what I'm committed to for the next 6 months, right? You've already mentioned, if you listen to yourself, you've already said it, right? You've already described the situation you're in. You've already disqualified other avenues and other identities at this time and place because you said, I need to make money, right? You've got time, but you don't have the other resources.
agreed.
You have hustle. You're willing to do the work. Hopefully it sounds like you're willing to do the work, but now you need to do the work. And this is going to be the uncomfortable part. This is going to be that season of you're doing the work that you don't necessarily want to do. Will you do that work forever? No, you're doing it towards the end of eventually being able to do just the work you want to do. However, in this season, and we all had to go through it, every great mentor, even Alex Hormozi, who teaches don't do that crap that you don't want to do, teaches, hey, you got to do the crap you don't want to do for a season. This is your season to do that work. Sam did it. Alejandro did it. I did it. I personally don't know any other way to get to the destination. And I'm the positive mindset guy. I'm the can do anything attitude. And I still have not yet discovered a way to shortcut the hard work season. Have not figured it out yet. I just know you apply that hard work.
Earn your stripes. That's it. It's the earn your stripes season. So I want you to actually, and here's the thing, you know, a lot of times people, I look at it this way. If I could go back to Sam 2 years ago when he was in the earn your stripes season, I still feel like I'm earning my stripes at the end of the day and so many things. I would go back to him and be like, dude, you're miserable, because he was locked in this room calling sellers like 10 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. if I could go back to him, I'd be like, dude, don't feel miserable. Don't feel like shit. You're earning your stripes right now. What you're doing right now is like what's necessary for you to go live every single Tuesday and talk about shit and have people that actually like pay attention and care. You're in the earn your stripes season. So, guys, we're a little bit over. Alejandro, quick fire. What advice do you have for Joel?
Man, my advice to you, brother, is go back and watch this podcast, because you've definitely been locked in listening to us. I can tell you're really locked in, like listening. And what happens is whenever you take a new advice is that 80% of what you just listened to, it's going to go out the trash. That's just how human brain works. It's nothing about you. I do the same thing. Just go back, listen to it, focus on one thing at a time, and don't put negative affirmations upon yourself.
I think I've been doing that quite a bit. I was like, can't do this. I'm like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Or I think I've been saying a lot of negative things like that to me. Like, I'm like,
yeah. If you feel like you're not good at it, man, just ask yourself, how can I get better? That's it. Don't say this is not for me. Just ask yourself, how can I get better?
I agree. I think I had to stop the negative affirmations. That's the one thing I've been doing so much.
Yeah, I'm really like stubborn with like negative affirmation, especially when I hear from other people. I'm like, hey man, don't bring that around me, please, because our brain is so powerful, man. Anything your brain listens and whatever you truly do believe, it really starts to reveal itself. I'm a big believer in that. I'm pretty sure Marlon is as well. Sam is as well. You just have to be really careful, man. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I argue with myself and I hear a negative affirmation. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Are you crazy? That's not true. And I just make sure I reaffirm myself to something better.
But I still want to hear from you guys. Like, I really want to break it down because it's kind of hard for me to get that picture in my head. But like, so now I know. I feel like I could be a good connector, and I think somewhere in the wholesaling part, maybe I could also get in.
Okay, thinking maybe, take those words, throw it out the trash can. You know that you can.
So this position, because it's really hard for me to make a decision because it's like not clear. But like,
it's okay. You're not going to get it all in one try, man. Just again, go back and watch this YouTube podcast, and feel free to reach out to me as well. I have a school platform coming out pretty soon for my community, so feel free to join. It's going to be free, and you're going to learn a lot of stuff there as well. But whatever resources you have now, just focus on those. Delete everything else. Everything else is let it go.
So multifamily is gone right now. That's completely gone. I think creative finance might not be there for me now. Sub 2 it's not there.
Gone.
So there'll be cash. I feel like
you have 3 people in front of you that I'm pretty sure we all can value something that you have. We can gain value from something you have, and that could be the connection and the people you know.
Okay. I need to hit on this real quick. So 2 things. 1, Tony Romero's in the chat. Tony, good to see you, dude. Love you. Joel, Tony Romero's a guy who got started when he was like 14 years old or something ridiculous and made like $1 million by the time he was 18. Some insane stuff, right? Tony's a good friend of ours. Absolutely crushing it. Thing with Tony, and Tony has gone on to found multiple businesses that crush it, absolutely crush it. Serial entrepreneur. The thing with Tony is that he stays so focused in each lane before he jumps on another one. That's huge. So another thing, I want to hit on 2 things real quick as we end. Number 1, Jade said this earlier. Jade said probably one of the best things, and it's one thing that we didn't address, and it's your inability to confidently close or confidently speak about what you're doing and you're saying. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you figure out your avatar and your identity in the space, it will become much easier to convey it. The problem is when you're talking to a seller, you haven't identified as a direct-to-seller wholesaler. When you're talking to a capital partner, you're not a deal operator, right? Internally, because you're doing 19 freaking things. But when you are one thing only, it is so easy to speak with conviction on it. And then 2, I want you to add this to the mix. I love doing pattern recognition, and I've done pattern recognition with everything that you've thrown at us. And I constantly see a theme And I'm not saying this is what you should do, but I want you to consider this. I've noticed that every single opportunity vehicle that you've presented us as an option is you as a business owner right now. It's you being a capital partner, you being a multifamily investor, you being a wholesaler, right? Mm-hmm. What I've realized is right now, and what I want you to consider, and this is okay, you may be in a season where you don't have to be the business owner. You may be in a season where you may not have developed enough skill sets yet to play the CEO hat. And there may be value in you, especially if you have family that you want to prove wrong, right? Having that chip on your shoulder is so damn important. It's so powerful. What I want you to consider is it may be valuable for you to potentially plug into someone else's established operation and work on a team that is legitimately transacting. Because what that's going to do is you will be allowed to leverage all that they got going on, right? Leverage their credibility, leverage their systems, or spend all of it as long as they're actually transacting, and you get some proof of concept in, you get some identity clearance in, you start developing skill sets. I want you to consider, and hey, if you say, hey, Sam, F that, I want to be a business owner right now, fair game. But when you're making this consideration, I want you to also consider for the next 6 months, maybe I need to learn and earn at the same time. In order to do that, I need to plug into someone else's operation. So that's all I have to say.
So I would agree with Sam on that big time. And here's what I'm going to say. It's going to take more repetition than you realize. So sitting down, like the fact that you're saying like, hey, I'm not comfortable with closing, I'm not comfortable having those conversations because you haven't had them enough. That's all. Because if you asked me when I got started, I did not consider myself a closer. I didn't. It was so, I struggled so terribly. And I just wanted to have conversations. I just wanted to be friends with everyone, but I never wanted to have the uncomfortable portion of the conversation until and then you know what I realized? If I don't want to have the uncomfortable portion of the conversation, I don't actually want success. I just say I want it. I like the idea of success, but I don't actually want success because success requires me doing this. That's just it. It's the work required. I can't say I want to get in shape if I'm not willing to go to. I can't say like I want to be buff, but I don't want to go to the gym. The two don't add up. I can't say I want to run a marathon, but I don't actually enjoy running. The two don't add up. So in this particular reality, you've got to accept the work that will come with the success. And the more you can wrap your mind around, hey, this is the work that I get the privilege to do, that I have the honor and opportunity to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do more of it than anybody else around me. I'm going to do more of it than the version of me yesterday, and I'm going to commit to showing up, like Alejandro said, regardless of how I feel, on the good days and the bad days. That's where you'll start to find success. And I'm going to warn you of this, and for everybody listening, I want you all to pay attention to, I want you to, once you commit, let's say you decide, you know what, the avenue I'm going is dispositions. I'm going to go and find somebody's team to get on, and I'm going to commit myself to that team. I'm going to take it as a job, and I'm going to be their top producer, right? I want to go and gain skills and earn money while doing so that later on I can come back in the next season and chapter and build my own thing. During that season of I'm locked in, I want you to go on a low information diet. I want you to stop listening to new information. Stop learning about new topics. Stop learning about, and I know that sounds so counterintuitive, especially coming from the mindset guy. The challenge is we all have this thing. There's a law of recency. There's a recency bias that the last things we listen to are what start to create our thoughts, create our emotions, create our feelings. So when I listen to Vina Jetty, who's amazing, naturally, I'm going to want to start considering multifamily. I'm going to start to feel like I'm missing out by not doing multifamily. I'm going to start to feel like I'm an idiot if I'm not doing multifamily, even though I'm already in a good vehicle. It's just the law of recency. It's the last thing I heard, so it's the last thing on my mind. When you go into this tunnel, you have to cut off all the other options. You have to cut off all the other information, go on a low information diet, and only consume information that pertains to your very narrow, specific target. So Joel, was this helpful tonight? Was it helpful to have this conversation?
Definitely was. At least gave me a little bit of a better idea to get like clear up some things.
So, Joel, do you remember what the homework was that I gave to you about 15 minutes ago? What did I say that I want before the end of tonight?
Figure out that thing, that avatar.
I want you to commit to one. I want you to commit to an avatar tonight. And the reason I'm putting urgency on it, the reason I'm putting a time limit on it, is because work will expand to the amount of time you give it. If I gave you 2 years to figure it out, it'll take you 2 years to figure it out. You've got less than 24 hours to figure it out.
All right. Do you mind if you guys give some just little brief ideas, because it gives my mind some reason to.
What did you hear Sam say? What was Sam's suggestion? Because Sam gave a very clear suggestion.
Team building, joining team.
Join a team. Join a team doing what?
Joining a team and being focused. Joining a team and.
But what would your value add be to that team? What position would you join in on that team?
Joining a team and bringing in the connections and the people.
So I don't think he said connector on the team.
Dispositions, buyers.
You could join the team as dispo, or you could join the team. I would personally recommend joining the team and getting on in acquisitions. And here's why I would say get in acquisitions. It's going to improve your skills. You're going to level up skill set way faster. And if someone joined my team as an acquisitions rep, right, coming in for commission, would I ever be mad if they said, hey, I locked up this deal and I also have a buyer for you?
No.
Hell no. That dude's getting double commission. That dude's making more money. And the problem with if you're only dispo, you're not a part of creating your own opportunities on that team. But if you join the acquisition side, you have more control inside of their organization to create opportunity for yourself. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. So they can make more opportunities.
It's going to make more opportunities, and it's going to give you more opportunities for reps, because you need reps right now. You need to get on the phones. You need to have conversations. You need to build your confidence, and that will give you the opportunity to do that. You're going to outwork your self-doubt.
And honestly, now that you brought that up, I think in that itself, I'm better at doing referrals. Like, I'm not good at sellers. So I think, I shouldn't have been saying that, but I think I noticed I'm a lot better at, you know what? I won't say noticed. I am better at talking to agents and referrals.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The reason you're saying that is because you haven't done enough reps yet. This past weekend, I just did. I was out for an event. We did sales this weekend. Guess what? I sucked this past weekend. Why? Because I spent the last 90 days in an RV running across the country. I'm rusty. So you know what I did today? I called up some of my teammates and we role played. I role played for about 2 hours by myself using ChatGPT to talk to and have conversations. And then I role played with my teammates for about an hour. Why? Because it's a perishable skill. If you don't continuously work on honing that sword and sharpening that sword, it will go dull. So you feeling like, hey, I suck at this. We all suck at it until we start practicing again. So I want to take away that illusion that some people just naturally have. I haven't met any natural salespeople. I've met natural talkers, but being a talker doesn't make you a salesperson. Because I know introverted people who crush. In fact, I would argue that some introverted people are even better because they listen better. They have a way better time at listening.
Steve Trang wrote the freaking sales Bible, and the dude is the biggest introvert I've ever met.
Now you brought this up. You know what happened actually? Like on July 23 last year. You know when Pace was telling me all that, right? Because I had to make some calls, and it's like my mind jumped to that one thing. I realized it's like because of the urgency, it made me realize it was the thing I wanted. Like I was better at. So this is like it made me just do agent calls. And it's like because of the urgency, I realized I made that decision. I'm feeling like in that part I should have kept going. Because I didn't keep going, I feel like I slowed myself down so much. And I think the other reason was like I was fearful that I won't make some money in time. I think that was the main reason I stopped. But because of that, it was almost like how many months it is? May, right? June. 11 months nearly. I haven't done anything after that. So I think this was good stuff you guys gave me today.
There you go, dude. Quick things, and then we need to wrap because we are way overboard today. You have until tonight. You have until tonight not to decide what you're going to do, but Marlon said a key word, and I want you to take that in. That's commit to what you're doing.
All right.
You're not deciding tonight that you're going to be a lender. If you decide that's it, right? That's a goal. Or you decide you're going to be on someone's team, whatever it is, you're committing. Guess what? The next 6 months of your life are already dictated. That's what you're doing by the end of today. Okay? Make that decision now. Moving forward, I want you to do this because I've noticed this with you. You don't put timelines on anything. When you don't put timelines on anything, you waste away 6 months of your life just trying to figure it out and not giving yourself like a concerted deadline. And I want you to start doing that. Guys, we are completely overtime today. But I think today was a phenomenal episode. Guys, if y'all want this to be a continuous thing, if you guys want us to keep bringing people like you who are in the chat, who are supporting us, you guys want to have your own dedicated 1 hour session with us where we just collectively pour into you, Alejandro, what should they do to show us that this like makes sense to keep doing?
Share with your friends. Take a screenshot of this. Tag us on Instagram. And what we have people doing is putting their biggest takeaways on there. That's all we ask for, because we like to know what are your biggest takeaways, what values are you gaining on these podcasts. It gives us ideas on what to talk about next. So that way we can continuously have you guys come back and gain that value.
I'm going to raise that bar a little bit, guys. Take a screenshot, share, but most importantly, don't actually just share. What I want you to do, and this is who I'm going to make the decision, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to take this on. We're not going to do it again next week, but whenever we do this again, I'm going to decide over the next 24 hours based on who actually posts the best takeaways from this episode. Guys, I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Joel, I'm telling you right now, you've got more than you could ever need to realize what's going to happen with the next 6 months of your life. Turn off all the voices you're listening to after you make the decision tonight. Right. Okay? And then if you do that, I swear to you, 6 months from now, your life will look so different than what it looks like right now. But it's all dependent on your level of commitment. That is it. If it doesn't work, it's not because it doesn't work. It's because you didn't commit to it. That's it. Bro, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for being vulnerable and open and letting us share with everyone else. It actually helps. I don't think you realize you helped so many people tonight. But Joel, thank you. Boys, Think Big Podcast. We're going live again next Tuesday, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. Y'all are amazing. I hope y'all crush it. We'll see y'all soon.